The great Finnish composer John Sibelius is most famous for his tone poem Finlandia. He became a national hero during Finland's struggle for independence, and Finlandia itself was kind of an unofficial national anthem for those nationalistic sentiments. It was a relatively early work of Sibelius, though, and one which certainly typifies that style, but is not representative of the direction that Sibelius eventually took. I mention this because the arc of Sibelius's career is very, very strange. He lived a long life, died in 1957 or so, but for the last 30 years, more or less, wrote absolutely nothing. In the mid-1920s, having completed his 7th symphony and a tone poem called Tapiola, his creative juices dried up, essentially. And there's this deafening and seemingly endless silence that followed. It's so strange because we think of great artists as in a perpetual state of evolution, that they're distilling their creative gifts as they get older and more mature. And it's not uncommon for composers in their 70s or 80s to come up with great and wonderful music. But Sibelius just stopped in his tracks, and we don't really know why. He really became reclusive and just withdrew into silence and drink, basically. And we'll never know what went on in that mind. However, he left a wonderful body of work, the aforementioned symphonies, of which there are 7, and the piece that we'll be playing on this concert, the Violin Concerto. It's a wonderful mix of intellectual and emotional balance. You have to have a keen sense of architecture and how to spin a phrase to bring this piece off, as well as a formidable technique. It's a really complicated piece from a technical point of view, and you have to have really fast fingers in order to play it, especially the last movement, which has the equivalent of triple saltos and quadruple toe loops or whatever. It's really quite a workout for the violinist. I'm so excited that we're going to be presenting a new face at Sun Valley this summer to play the Sibelius Violin Concerto, a young Canadian violinist, James Ennis, with whom I've had the pleasure of collaborating before in Miami with the New World Symphony. He is in many ways a musician's musician. He has just that right kind of balance between the intellectual and the emotional approach, which I think is going to be ideally suited to the Sibelius. I'm very much looking forward to collaborating with him on this piece.